Sawadee Cup and welcome to another episode for the Funky Pod. It's not Monday anymore and you know what it means. We talk about MMA. Didn't come out on Monday, health reasons, but now it's all good. So we're up and running again. So welcome to the one, the only, back in your life MMA Monday here on the Funky Pod. Even though it's Wednesday. So what happened this past week? And again, it's not just a recap show as always. I try to look a little bit more into like how is the UFC or other organizations, how are they using the media? Because that's my job, like working in the media. And how do fighters use the media and so on. But first things first, the UFC Fight Night, only fighter afterwards who got some media traction was Mackenzie Dern, and not for the right reason. I mean, she put herself out there, so good on her. Good. If you're upset or if you're sad or anything, put it out there. That's fine. I mean, you want us to follow you for who you are, then just be transparent, and that's great. So, props to her for getting it out and like, oh God, this and that happened, and I need to get better, and so on. So great. So she was the only fighter that made any waves after the event. I don't even remember anyone else who fought. I mean, Jan, yeah, but other than that, to be honest, the one championship event felt bigger. Maybe it's also because like I'm in Asia and so I'm more exposed to one anyways, but it felt bigger and well, one had two events, right? So let's just jump right into it and then when we go full circle and then I talk about the UFC again. So the one event, and here I'm gonna, and just let me open the right tab. Here I'm gonna do a quick recap though, because I simply assume not everybody watched it. It will be very short, and then we talk about the media and so on, right? So the main event was Pat Morakot, Pat Yendi versus, and here in Thailand you don't always pronounce the CH, so it's spelled P-E-T-C-H, and then Morakot, Patch Morakot, but you don't usually say the CH, so that it's called Pat Morakot, Pat Yendi Academy. And he fought Tawanchai PK Sanchai out of the famous Sanchai gym. And Tawanchai, the up-and-comer, the young lion, who's like got more like fancy, flashy stuff. And Pat Morakot usually like a more like back-to-basics fighter, but that's how he defended his title for a long time. And the first two rounds looked very much in favor of Tawanchai, but in the last two definitely, but in the last three looked, in my opinion, more for Pat Morakot. And I wasn't alone with that opinion. I think most people thought that way. Most people, except of the judges, of course. And we'll come to the one judges later. Because one bouts, whatever, I explain later. But the judgment and one championship, always a hot topic to discuss. So Tawanchai wins by unanimous decision, is the new champion. And then the scorecards came out later, and one judge gave every round to Tawanchai. One judge gave the last round to Tawanchai, which was clearly a Pat Morakot round. Like he was dominating that. Yeah. I understand that they want Tawanchai to be like the face because he's like flashy, handsome, has like a TV friendly style, and Pat Morakot not always, but that was kind of crazy. That was kind of like I was pretty sure Pat Morakot won that by decision, but apparently didn't. So I hope they do run that back as soon as possible. The co-main event was heavyweight kickboxing world Grand Prix semi-final between Roman Kriklia and Guto Innocent, who knocked out Radio Pacic in the round before, but the Roman Kriklia came in and just blasted Innocent. Innocent was like kind of like complaining that the stoppage was too soon, but it was a good stoppage. So Roman Kriklia is in the next round in the final for the championship. What else did we have actually? We had a great scrap between Rito Fogart versus Tiffany Teo, and Tiffany Teo won via submission. Rito looked like very dominant for a while until she lost to Stamp, and now she's not bouncing back. Like it's like everyone thought she's like this amazing wrestler who just gets you down and the ground and pounds, and that's what I said. I predicted it, but clearly that's not enough. So Tiffany Teo got taken down, reversed it, and then submitted her. Like Tiffany Teo went to work. Congratulations. No Chill, Tiffany Teo, that's her nickname. Awesome fight. That was a really good fight. Like a really smart reversal by Tiffany Teo, and like worked hard for the submission. So congratulations there. That was great. Heavyweight, we saw Umar Khan versus Batras Gasaev, and it was like a heated face-off in the weigh-ins, and Gasaev was pushing Khan. And Khan pushed back, won by TKO. It was not pretty. Like two really big guys, like slowly moving forward, throwing bombs. That was not pretty to watch, unfortunately. In the lead card, that's how they call it, prelims at ONE Championship. Not too much to discuss. And so that was the one event on Thursday, and then of course the big event on Saturday morning here, Friday night in the US. That's why they did it. One on Prime Video 2. And the main event was, of course, Zhong Qingnan versus Angela Lee. And Zhong Qingnan won via unanimous decision. And lots of outrage on social media that was a robbery. It was not a robbery. Did I think Angela Lee won? Yes. Or did I think Angela Lee did enough to win? Yes. Is it a robbery? No, it's not. So the first round was a clear round for Zhong Qingnan. You could have said it's a 10. If ONE Championship doesn't score round by round, they score bouts as a whole. That's the problem in this case for Angela Lee. If it would be a UFC fight, round by round scoring, it would have been 10-8 the first round for Zhong Qingnan. Second round was close, but 3-4-5 was then 10-9 for Angela Lee. So you could make a case for Angela Lee winning the round by round scoring. One doesn't do that. And even if the first round would have been a 10-8 for Zhong Qingnan, because she set Angela Lee down right away, and I thought Herb Dean might stop it there. And by the way, smart move for ONE Championship, getting Herb Dean to referee, like familiar face for the US audience. Smart. I don't only hate on ONE Championship. But so the first one was a 10-8 if you would count it round by round. Close to stoppage. Angela Lee looked terrible in the first round with her throwing wild punches. That was not great. I mean, she was in panic mode, obviously, but that just looked terrible. But she's got grit. You can say what you want about her. She's got grit. And she just hung in there. She was diving for single legs, trying to hold on. The second round still didn't look great, but better, of course. Wasn't close to getting knocked out. And it looked like Zhong Qingnan really then slowed down. So Angela Lee seemed to have gotten to her, get her tired. Like Angela Lee, and it made me really mad because she had this one move, like a Superwoman punch, and then maybe a follow-up, and then trying to hold on and maybe then trip her, get her down or whatever. But Zhong Qingnan saw that and just took a step back. So it never really connected, and Angela Lee was still doing it. But maybe that's also how she got her tired. So then maybe it did work. In the end, but it's not like Angela Lee was dominating the last few rounds. Would I have given her the last few rounds? Yes, I would. Like round 3, 4, 5, I think I would have scored for Angela Lee. If you would have asked me for a round-by-round scoring, at least the last two, I think. But Zhong Qingnan definitely landed clean shots. It's not like she got dominated, didn't do anything. Angela Lee was pressing forward, yes. Zhong Qingnan was moving backward, yes. But she was landing clean shots in between with her boxing. So it's not a robbery. It's definitely not a robbery. I was surprised because I thought they're going to be like, yeah, Angela Lee, make her a double champ. Woo. But maybe having a Chinese champion is more important right now. So maybe that's why the judges decided in that way. So it was not a robbery. Afterwards, Angela Lee went on social media and was like, yeah, I'm grateful for ONE Championship, but we need to talk about the scoring. Something's wrong there, blah, blah. So she was really upset. She posted a picture of her celebrating because she thought she won in the octagon. I understand. And while I didn't appreciate the complaining, the whining, I do appreciate the fire that she has. Now, a few days later, she said, okay, thought about it, there are more important things like family and so on. She's still very blessed and so on. So, yes, she's not that mad anymore. Yes, I don't think it's a robbery. I wouldn't mind. Like, let's do it a fourth time. Let Zhang Qinnan come down again, and let's do it one more time. Why not? If Figgy and Moreno can do it 4 times, so can Zhang Qinnan and Angela. Zhang Qinnan is always very polite in interviews, like when she speaks. But then, like in press releases, she's not. Now the press release states that she said, like, if Angela Lee wants to go a 4th or 5th time, no problem, let's do it. I'll always beat her. Like in one-on-one interviews, her answers are always very polite. She's like, "Oh, I respect Angela Lee, blah blah." But then those press releases, so probably also like the manager, like tweeting or PRing there, setting things up. But yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that a few more times, to be honest, because it was a great fight. Angela Lee still needs to work on that striking, though. Stay in Thailand for a while, Angela. Bring your family, stay in Thailand, do some Muay Thai here. Zhang Qinnan does that, I think. So why not do that? Co-main event was flyweight submission grappling world championship. Yeah, I had to read that. Between Mikey Musumeci, who's apparently the GOAT in submission grappling, no gi, versus Clever Sousa. And I almost fell asleep. And now it's me not being a BJJ guy. So I do like to watch ADCC, so I'm a bit of a BJJ guy. No? But this, like, submission grappling, when Mikey just flopped on his back right away, it's like, come to me. I mean, I understand it's a valid technique, and if you're so good off your back, yeah, you do that, but it just looks terrible. I did not enjoy that at all. I'm sorry. I did enjoy watching ADCC and Gordon Ryan and stuff. Yeah, hype train, I know, but I did enjoy those stuff, even if he didn't get the sub and if it was like technical stuff. I did enjoy that, but I did not enjoy this. I don't know. Anyway, I did enjoy the video afterwards of like Miki Musumeci dancing with Stam Fairtex in a club in Singapore, celebrating their respective wins, because he looks like me when he's dancing, which is great. Speaking of which, Stam Fairtex then in the co-main event, the third bout on the card from the top, versus Jihin Ratsuan. Jihin Ratsuan started off really well, so props to Jihin Ratsuan. But yeah, Stam was then, in the end, she was the better fighter, like more complete. Set her down with a really nice forward elbow. Went to ground and pound, and didn't get the stoppage, and Jean reversed it into some submission attempts, which was great. But yeah, it was a victory, a clear victory for Stamp, and no complaints there. Good job. She's getting better and better at MMA, which is great. She has this mixed bout with Anissa Maxson coming up in January, which I don't understand it. Like, Anissa Maxson is a great stand-up fighter in Muay Thai / kickboxing, of course, but so is Stamp. She's a former kickboxing and Muay Thai champion in one championship. So I don't see any big advantages for Anissa Maxson. It's going to be like very even, I would assume, in a stand-up. And once it goes into an MMA round, Stamp's going to run through her, I guess. Unless Anissa Maxson has been doing like lots of MMA work that we're not aware of. I don't get this mixed rules bout. That is ridiculous. Like with Rottang and DJ, you could be like, yeah, it's like stand-up versus MMA versus grappling. You could kind of like promote it, but this, I don't see it. I don't see the appeal at all. I'm sorry. Yeah, but the great fight though, and also Jean Ratson, great fight. So I hope she stops punching her coach in the face on social media. But other than that, I hope she keeps going, because it was a great, valid effort from her, and I'm looking forward to seeing her fight again, because she is also like a power, like, let's move forward kind of fighter, which is great. We had Martin Nguyen and How the Mighty Have Fallen. Martin Nguyen, the former 2-division world champion in one championship, lost to Ilya Fraimanov via TKO in his one championship debut. So congratulations to Ilya Fraimanov. And also in his debut, Halil Amir won against Timofey Nastyukin, who knocked out Eddie Alvarez back then, and now Timofey Nastyukin got knocked out himself against Halil Amir, which was a very impressive performance as well. Finishing off, we had in the lead card, we had Mario Grigorian versus Typhon Özkan, which was great. We had Anissa Maxson, as mentioned, lighting up Dankong Farbanchamek, leading to a UD win as well. And we had Rade Opacic bouncing back, winning via knockout against Janis Stoforidis, which was also fun. So that card was really good. Now, media-wise, right? So I mean, One Championship does a good job anyways. They're everywhere all the time. Great. But so the only fighters that are still making some waves were Anissa Maxson, because Anissa Maxson afterwards said like, well, Stamp is just a dancer, I'm a fighter, because Stamp always dances to the ring, right? Great point. Stamp was like, I'm going to show you who's just a dancer. So there's some trash talk there, which is great. So they keep building that fight. I appreciate it. Other than that, Angela Lee was the only one that came out, unfortunately complaining, but it was the only one that used social media in any shape or form. And One Championship is now just posting highlights, of course, and already slowly building up the next event, which is in 2 weeks from now, on a Friday again, I believe. So with One Championship, I always have the issue that while they're posting and producing lots of content, at least on social media, not so much on YouTube is social too, but not so much on YouTube. It's like all Instagram for One Championship or Facebook. I miss those embedded kind of things that UFC is doing so well. The One Championship should do too, I think, and also just encourage the fighters to do more. It's always the same fighters for One Championship that are doing content, so the fighters should be doing more so that more people will get to know them. Like, why aren't you doing more? But yes, I do think they're doing a good job promoting their one on Prime events at least. It's probably time for them to actually have them in the States and not just from Singapore at US time, but maybe actually do them in the States at some point. But that's it for One Championship. So the event was well done, great card, well organized, no problem with the streaming. The announcer still, not the guy in the ring. He's okay, but the intro person still annoying. But it's never gonna change. And yeah, so I just enable the fighters to do more. I think they need to create more content, more engaging content, and not just random content. Like they need to get the audience more behind them. Because while I know all of them, and you might know all of them, like most people don't know any of them. And I think it's unfortunate, but if Angela Lee walks around wherever, no one's gonna know who she is, except for maybe in Hawaii, and then maybe wherever, like if she's in Bangkok or wherever there are MMA fans. But other than that, so then they need to do a better job at building those stars, I think. Which leads me back now to Bellator, and they also had an event, by the way. I guess you didn't know. It went unnoticed once again. Or PFL or BKFC also had an event. I think only noticed it because of Ben Rothwell being there, I guess, and knocking out his opponent in a few seconds. Other than that, they still all suck. I say it every week because it's just so annoying. And now this week again, there is no fight night, no nothing for the UFC. So why aren't others jumping on it? Why don't I see more Bellator PFL content? There's nothing. No fighter takes the lead, does anything, nothing. I feel like I'm talking to my students at university, like, why aren't you doing anything? You're all failing this assignment. Ridiculous. The only one who's out there again is Jake Paul. Why the hell do I see Jake Paul popping up everywhere now? He's like, there's an announcement with an MMA organization and so on. He's doing it right. He's like, there's no UFC, so I'm going to announce shit now. Sorry. I'm going to announce stuff now. Why aren't others doing that? Damn it. Annoying. So back to UFC. No events this week, so why not highlight the fighters more? Give them stuff to do, make them do stuff. I know, have Laura Sanko jump around. At least DC is commentating with WWE, so that there's some more exposure there. Smart crossover. Other than that, there needs to be done more stuff. You can't just take a break for a week. The heck? Perfect timing now for others to jump into the limelight. Fighters, whatever, commentators, anything. I'm so frustrated. Speaking of frustrations, and we finish for this week's MMA Monday. Do you know what's the next fight night at UFC? What's the next event? Don't Google, just... Exactly. It's not Abu Dhabi. Abu Dhabi is the week after. with Makhachev Oliveira, which is going to be awesome. I can't wait. See, I'm not just shitting on the UFC, but the next fight night is Alexa Grasso versus, what's her name, Arroyo. I don't even know her first name. Did you know? No, you didn't know. No one knows. What the fuck you? Sorry. WTF UFC? What the hell? Do a better job. You would have had time now. Do a better job. And the fighters too. Don't just rely on a company. Do a better job. If you need help, I teach, so I'm a teacher, you can trust me. I'm a professor, you can trust me. All right, that's it for this week's MMA Monday before I get more upset. Next week, back on schedule. Thanks for joining. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, vote for this podcast on Google Podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and so on. Hit that bell to get the notifications. And don't forget to always keep your guard up. Talk and see you soon. Saudi Cup.